as we haven't done the top 10 list yet, but as of this point, my stated number one favorite game of all time has been the game Scythe from Stonemaier Games. But I acknowledge that game can be a tad complex. not complex in the like weight, but just in the sheer stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's overwhelming when you first look at it.
It's a bear to teach.
Yeah, from what I've heard. But sometimes you don't want that. Sometimes you want something smaller. So I have also My Little Scythe.
Woo! That game is so
The
cute.
emphasis you put on the words was pretty funny. My Little Scythe.
Yeah. Or as I taught it to Corey and them, and she called it Baby Scythe.
It is such a cute looking
Baby
game.
Scythe.
Shut up.
I wasn't sure if that was what
None
she
of
was
that.
going for.
None of that.
Go on.
I like to call it, I think it's more of like cute Scythe.
Yeah, it is
It's
cute.
adorable.
Instead of like a World War I kind of steampunky world, this is it's a fantasy realm where you are competing in a series of competitions trying to earn favor of the world of Palm.
They're animals.
It kind of looks like it's like Daniel Tiger themed, honestly.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm going to nod my head like yes.
I only know because of my niece.
But it's a bunch of different critters. Like you got,
They're so cute.
basically just about every race that's in like Root is a cute little plastic figurine, and it's some decent.
Oh
like,
my gosh,
hardcore
that's heavy.
Yep.
There's a lot of stuff in that box. I remember that.
Yeah, I would not venture too far because there's a lot of stuff.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So
Got the game
first,
trays.
it does come with a game trays insert. I want to mention that,
Oh
but
my
in this
goodness.
game, you are doing a bunch of challenges like you would in Scythe, but you're trying to get 4 trophies, and it's not the exact same kind of mechanics. There's a lot of differences.
You're making friends in this, aren't you?
Well, that's the thing. Instead of what's it called? And it's not approval. It's not. I'm trying to think of the word it is in Scythe.
It's one of the tracks, right?
The one of the tracks.
Yeah.
It's not. I want to say popularity. There we go.
Okay.
There's a popularity track here. It's the friendship track,
Mm.
and the combat rating track is a pie track here because you don't fight. You have pie fights instead.
Nice.
Pie fight?
So the combat mechanic works very similar, where you take a card and choose how many pies you're going to use in your pie fight.
Mm.
But instead of a combat card, they have their magic spells instead. So a lot of the things have just like a cutesier version of. It's still a hex-based board. There's still like your player board has 3 sections, but instead of Scythe where it's got an upper action, a lower action, this one you have multiple actions. Or some of the you have like move,
I get it now.
move, seek, and make. And
Okay.
move only has 1 action, seek has 2, and make has 3 different things. So you just do 1 of each thing. But just like Scythe, you have to move to a different action.
Yeah, you can't do
take
the same thing. Yeah.
But in this, because there's multiple actions under certain columns, you could do the same ones. I just can't do the exact same thing.
That
So
you cover up a specific section?
yes.
Okay.
Chris,
Hmm?
I need you to paint these.
Yeah, that's. So it's on the, and Ashley said I need to paint them too.
it's
I'm
so
going to paint
cute.
it. It was just more of trying to get this review out soon because Stonemeier's got some news coming up in regard. So they wanted this. They wanted these reviews out soon to kind of go alongside with some of that news. I don't know how much of it's public yet. That's why I have to be kind of guarded on. I think some of it is and
just
some of
gonna
it
cut it
isn't.
out.
So I don't know. So yes, these are going to get painted soon.
That's so adorable.
And I definitely you definitely need to play this because I think you will like
I
it.
think I will
What's
too.
the player count on this?
The player
2 to
count is
6, it
6, I
says.
believe.
So
Yeah.
I see there's an automa. So I
Yes,
wasn't
there is
sure
an
if it
automa
did
deck.
solo.
I don't know why you would play it solo.
Yeah,
What I think the automa deck might be better for is if you're doing 2-player.
it's the auto mounty.
Um,
Well, it says here that the auto mounty rules found within are primarily intended for solo play. So
yeah, but the sorry, I have a cat terrified. So, but the problem, this isn't like a big, huge, meaty game. This is just a very casually kind of
Yeah.
because it was designed originally around playing with children, So that's where I'm saying, like, if you're playing by yourself,
Hmm.
I don't know why you would have a solo.
It's your imaginary friends.
Yeah, well, if your kid's to the point where maybe they could play the game by themselves without any supervision, maybe if they're like 10-ish, maybe that's about the only situation I could see.
So you're saying if you're an adult, you wouldn't choose this to play
Probably
solo over
not.
other things? Oh, okay.
Probably not. That's what I'm saying. Like, as an adult, I don't see, like, the value in this is either playing it cutesy with other people or playing it with your children kind of thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Not saying that there aren't people that are playing this solo. Just like I said, I could see the Autonoma deck being more useful for the 2-player count, just to
adding in
have
something
some
extra.
just adding a little bit extra variety. Because I played this with Ashley, and she liked it, but she didn't like playing it with me because it was great. So some of the other differences between this and Scythe is this has dice.
Oh.
Because in regular Scythe, the way that resources are made is each tile has a specific resource type on it, and when you take the generate, you produce the action or the resources on that spot. This doesn't have that. So what happens here is you roll dice and generate the resources that are on the dice.
Okay.
And they're colored, so like the red die, which produces only apples, has a bunch of apple symbols. The actual symbol of the apple will be like blue, so that means you're putting a apple in the blue area of the board anywhere.
Okay.
And if you put it on a hex where somebody else is, you get a friendship bonus. So
Nice.
Ashley was rolling and generating, and I'm like, hey, if you put that there, you get if you give it to me, you'll get a resource bonus, or you'll get a friendship bonus. She's like, oh, yeah, okay, and did that. And then it came to the last thing in the game, and I rolled and put the resources like as far away from her as possible.
Oh, my gosh.
I like that generating the resources based on dice. That kind of reminds me of a game we played recently. It was City of Gears,
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
because you roll dice and it shows you what resources you have to work with that round.
It also makes it easier to boost that friendship level up, because you can just sit there and just generate and it also helps in that it's kind of weird, because like when you get like one person stockpiling a bunch of resources, you're almost for a second you're like, crap, everyone's going to come after me. And then there's almost not really an incentive to, because yeah, sure, they could get all those resources, but sometimes it's a lot of effort to get to that person, depending on your player count. It's like, yeah, but I'm going to have to waste a lot of movements getting towards them, and I'd be better off boosting my other tracks to try, because game ends when, or the game ends when someone gets 4 trophies, and then everybody has one last turn to gain trophies.
Okay.
Okay.
And if whoever has the most trophies wins, followed by whoever has the highest friendship meter, followed by whoever has the most resources, being the tiebreakers. So going after somebody is not really going to win you the game per se, because the ways you're in trophies is like, one of them is these parts remind you a little bit of Scythe, where it's like getting your friendship track all the way up, getting your pie track all the way up, upgrading your actions, or getting a certain amount of quests done.
There's not very many rules to this.
No, there isn't. It's a very simple game.
That's nice. Like, I mean, it's nice that they could condense the rules down to make them more easily absorbed.
Right. So that, yeah, like that, I've been kind of piecemealing it, but I've said most of the rules that are out there.
Yeah, I just flipped through it real quick. I was like, oh yeah, he said that. He said that.
Yeah.
He said that.
The only piece I didn't explain is there's a castle in the middle, and unlike regular Scythe, you can't just go into the castle whenever you want. Going into the castle is an action to deliver a certain amount of goods. So it's almost a pickup and delivery aspect of but that's how one of the trophies is by delivering 4 gems or delivering 4 apples to the castle, you get a trophy.
Okay.
Huh.
So, don't know where I stand on this game. Well, I'm keeping it. That's for certain. I like it.
Does it replace Scythe for you?
Oh, heck no. But, and it's not necessarily one of those games I'm going to pull out all the time.
Okay.
But there is a specific section of my library that I've kept, and games that don't get touched, purely on the sense of, if I ever enter the chance where there's a child in the house that I have to entertain.
Or let me ask this: if you were going to somewhere where you knew there weren't going to be people that are into games,
Oh yes,
and you wanted a scythe kind of itch scratch,
yes. This will
Okay.
tell. So that's the other aspect about it. When I played it with Corey and Jimmy, and also with Ashley, is it's a very relaxing type of game. Like it's not a brain burny kind of game. You can just kind of go with the flow and just do whatever on my turn. I'm just gonna do something. You don't have to like. It's a very casual. Like it's got some meatier mechanics to it than like another child's game.
yeah,
But it's also not very complicated to where you can just kind of on your turn figure out what you're going to do and that sort of thing. So it's not a very I don't know how else to better to say it. The only downside is depending on the theme is either going to turn off or on some people. Because like my dad saw this and was like, my dad is the person I play Scythe with.
yeah.
And my dad was like, I'm not playing that.
Get that out of my face.
Yeah. Whereas my mom and Ash are like, oh, that's cute. I'd play that.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I could definitely see like families and stuff playing this. If you have kids at all and like Scythe, but not necessarily like this isn't a kiddie game. I would put this like this is like the way that I play Haba games. That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
this kind of fills that same niche where it's a kids game without being a kids game.
Well, I mean, the age limit, it does say 8+.
Right.
So.
Yeah, this isn't like a my first.
Yeah.
This isn't like a I'm gonna play this with my 3-year-olds kind of game.
This is a game you can play with kids without losing your mind.
Yes, exactly. That's kind of where I'm at.
Cool.
So,
Awesome.
Yeah, the game. This is my first time really having a game trays game.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how I feel about it yet because some of the like especially when you stand it up and shake it around, some of the pieces will fall out and all over the place.
Yeah, like I noticed when I
Yeah.
was pulling that one.
I don't know, but I
tray.
found it was after the first time I played. I noticed that they say you should put the player boards underneath the plastic covering, and I was like, oh yeah, that would help it not be mixed up as much.
The arrangement of the one in Euphoria is pretty good. Like nothing
yeah.
really spills out in that one.
That one takes up.
Yeah, I don't
that's
have
good.
I don't have the version that has the game trays in it.
Yeah, we finally took the plunge and got Euphoria, I think last year.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
actually about a year ago at this
So-
point.
It was like I heard about the game trade. It was like, you got gift card money, let's use it.
Yeah.
Yep, I was so excited when I got that.
So yeah, definitely if you're a fan of Scythe and have that need for something
Family friendly.
then yeah, I would definitely pick this up, especially if you like the minis are adorbs.
They are adorable.
I like that. Designed by Hobie Chow and with daughter Vienna Chow.
Well, yeah, have you heard
Yeah, I had heard about it was like
they made
My Little Pony themed.
Yeah, it
originally.
was the reason the name was My Little Scythe because it was Scythe these mechanics but skinned with My Little Pony.
Yeah, I had never seen something like that on the front of a box.
Yeah.
With daughter.
Yeah. And
So
then
that was cool to see.
and then when Stonemaier officially picked it up, they reskinned it to kind of generic woodland critters.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Because I'm sure My Little Pony's copyright.
well, it is, and that's Hasbro, and you'd have to pay quite a penny for that license.
I'm sure. Yeah.